Have you realized that you're killing yourself cleaning things that you really should only touch once a month? And no, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're careless, nor because you don't care about your home. It's because they've planted in your head for years that if everything isn't gleaming, spotless, and smelling like disinfectant at all times, then you're not a good housekeeper. Because somehow, the absurd idea took hold that the value of a woman in her home is measured by how shiny her floor is and how clean the baseboards are that no one ever looks at. How many times have you felt bad for seeing a little bit of dust on a shelf? For seeing a tiny stain on a lamp? Or because the bathroom mirror had a few drops of water? I'm sure you've said to yourself, tomorrow I'll clean properly, because how embarrassing if someone comes and sees this. And that, even though you know no one notices it. Even though you know it doesn't affect anything. But there you are, wearing yourself out, feeling guilty, with the sensation that you should be doing more. That if it's not perfect, then you haven't fulfilled your duty. Do you know what's sad? That the house is never going to be perfect. Never. There will always be a bit of lint that escaped, a fingerprint on the glass, a tiny spot that only you can see. And if you go on believing that you have to have everything spotless at all times, you're condemning yourself to an eternal, exhausting, and completely unnecessary task. Because yes, the house should be clean, but not at the cost of your peace of mind. Not at the cost of your aching back, of ending the days exhausted, of having no time or energy left for yourself. Not at the cost of feeling like everything else in your life can wait except the cleaning. That's not normal. That's not healthy. And above all, it's not fair to you. It's time to break away from that idea. To stop doing what doesn't need to be done. To understand that there are things that don't need your attention every day, not even every week. That no one is going to come inspect your house with white gloves, and if they did, I assure you those are not people worth keeping around. Listen closely, because if you keep cleaning these things every week, you're wasting your time, your energy, your rest, and your peace of mind. Things you could be investing in yourself, in reading a book, in sleeping, in going for a walk, or simply in doing nothing. Because you have the right to that too. And that's why today I want to tell you which are those 10 things you can leave alone for a whole month without feeling guilty, without being afraid something will happen, and without carrying the false obligation that if they're not spotless, your house has no value. Believe me, when you hear them, you'll realize how many hours you've wasted cleaning things that didn't need it. And how good it feels to let that go. First, the lamps and light bulbs. And here, I want you to be honest with yourself. When was the last time someone, whether it's your neighbor, your sister, your mother-in-law, or anyone else who entered your home stopped to look at your lamp and said, "Wow, what a horror, this lamp is full of dust"? Never. Not once. Because no one looks at that. No one. And yet, there you are, climbing onto a chair every week, rag in hand, stretching to remove dust that isn't even visible to the naked eye. For what? Who made you believe that was necessary? I tell you this with total honesty, a monthly cleaning is more than enough. Even less if you want, but let's leave it at once a month so you feel at ease. A simple dry cloth is enough. No need to take it apart, no need to wet it, no need to drive yourself crazy removing each bulb. It's a total waste of time doing that every week. Also, let me tell you something, that little dust that accumulates up high on a lamp doesn't affect anyone. It doesn't dim the light, it doesn't fall onto the food, it doesn't make your kids sick, it doesn't change your home. It's there, and it'll stay there, but it's up to you whether you sacrifice your minutes of rest for something that doesn't change anything in anyone's life. Just imagine everything you could do with that time you waste every week cleaning lamps. Minutes that turn into hours each month. Hours you could use for yourself. To watch a show, to take a calm, unhurried shower, to drink a coffee without feeling rushed, or simply to sit and do nothing because that's valid too. So the next time you hear that little voice inside telling you, "I should clean the lamps," answer it, "Not today. It's once a month, and that's it." And you'll realize that absolutely nothing happens. Your house stays just as fine. No one notices, no one comments, and you're left with one less thing on your list and a small daily victory over that absurd perfectionism they made you carry. Second, the baseboards. That forgotten and silent part of the house that seems to exist solely to gather dust. And here I'll tell you straight, yes, they gather dust, but it doesn't show. You can't see it. No one notices. No one comes to your house, crouches down, and starts inspecting the edge between the wall and the floor like some kind of cleaning detective? No one. And if someone does, honestly, that person has way too much free time or very poor manners. But there you are, every week, dragging a rag, crouched down, going along the edges of the entire house, because you feel that if you don't, your house is dirty. And no, it's not dirty. It's lived in. It's normal. Because no real house, where people live, breathe, and go about their lives, is spotless from top to bottom every single day. And you know what's worse? The dust on the baseboards doesn't lift itself up. It doesn't float, it doesn't get into the beds, it doesn't land in the food. It's just there, stuck, accumulated. And with a good wipe once a month, with a dry cloth or one barely dampened, it's enough. You can get it off in 5 minutes and be done with it. You don't have to be crawling around every Saturday, hurting your back, feeling like if you don't do it you're messy or careless. And also, and this is important, obsessively cleaning the baseboards doesn't make your house look cleaner. I guarantee it. The feeling of cleanliness comes from the floors, from the surfaces where you place things, from the places your eyes naturally reach without effort. No one walks into a house and says, "Wow, what cleanliness, look at those impeccable baseboards." It's never happened and it never will. So let it go. Allow yourself to leave it for once a month. Mark it on your calendar if you want. Do it on the first Sunday of each month and forget about it the other 29 days. You'll feel liberated. You'll save yourself time, effort, and above all, that absurd pressure of wanting to have even the last corner gleaming. Because a clean house isn't the one that shines in every corner, but the one that's enjoyed and lived in without stress. Third, the kitchen extractor filters. This is one of those areas where many housewives get obsessed unnecessarily. Because of course it's in the kitchen, where you cook every day, where there's steam, grease, and smells. You feel that if it's not spotless all the time, the kitchen is dirty. But here's the truth, you don't need to clean them every week. It's not only unnecessary, it's absurd. Those filters are designed to collect grease and particles, yes, but not for you to become a slave to them. In fact, cleaning the filters weekly changes nothing. Because unless you're frying food every single day or barbecuing inside the kitchen, grease and dirt don't build up to a dangerous level in such a short time. And I tell you this knowingly, the vast majority of those stains and residue you see don't affect the extractor's performance or contaminate your food. The only thing you achieve by cleaning those filters every week is wearing yourself out and shortening the lifespan of the parts. Because yes, so much degreaser and constant handling end up damaging the materials. And honestly, no one peeks in to see how your filters look. Not your mother-in-law, not your obsessive cleaner friend, no one. They're up there, out of sight. And like I said, if they're not dripping grease or making strange noises, a deep cleaning once a month is enough. And when I say deep cleaning, I don't mean a surgical operation that takes hours. You just need to take them down, put them in hot water with a good splash of degreaser or strong detergent, let them soak for a while, give them a quick brush or sponge, and dry them well. Done. They'll be like new and you won't need to touch them again for 30 days. For the rest of the month, forget they exist. Don't overthink them. No one is going to check, and it doesn't affect the overall cleanliness of your kitchen in the slightest. Stop punishing yourself with tasks that only add to your exhaustion and do absolutely nothing to change the perception of tidiness and cleanliness in your home. And the best part is, when you realize how unnecessary it was to do it every week, you'll feel tremendous peace. Because that's how you start to reclaim time and energy, by stopping the things that aren't needed, letting go of those invisible obligations that only weigh you down and add nothing to your life. So now you know, filters once a month, and that's it. Fourth, the blinds. Another one of those things that seem to scream, "Clean me," but only in your head. Because, let's be honest, no one walks into your house and walks over to touch your blinds to check if they're dusty. No one. And yet there you are, week after week, battling them as if they were display cases. Wiping them down one by one, slat by slat, wasting valuable minutes of your day on a task you could easily do just once a month with no problem. I'm telling you this because I did it too, and it's a monumental waste of time. You can quickly run a feather duster over them whenever you do your general cleaning if you want in less than 2 minutes, without stopping, without obsessing. But to clean them thoroughly, meaning lowering them, opening them up, wiping them down with a damp cloth or degreaser if they're in the kitchen, leaving them spotless, that only needs to be done once a month. And I assure you, a mountain of dust isn't going to build up in 30 days. They're not going to turn gray or drop dirt every time you raise or lower them. Because the truth is, dust settles very slowly, and when windows are closed, barely at all. In fact, I bet if right now you stopped cleaning them for 2 weeks, no one would notice. And that's proof that doing it constantly makes no sense. Plus, the problem with cleaning blinds too often is that you end up damaging the material. Water and cleaning products, no matter how gentle, eventually wear out the paint, dull the color, and loosen the cords or mechanisms. All for a supposed need that doesn't even exist. So do yourself a favor. Pick one day a month to clean them properly and forget about them the rest of the time. Don't stop to check them every week. Don't look for excuses to lower the blinds mid-afternoon and wipe them down, because the sunlight made the dust specks visible. No. Stop subjecting yourself to that invisible pressure to have everything perfect all the time. The house is meant to be lived in, not to enslave you. And the best part is that when you start letting go of those unnecessary habits, you'll realize how many hours you've wasted on things no one values, things you yourself had turned into an obligation. Blind cleaning is one of them. So starting today, give yourself that break. Because no one is going to value your house more for having gleaming blinds every single day, but you will value having time for yourself. Fifth, the furniture you barely use. And here I want you to take a moment to think. Picture that dresser you have in the guest room. That little table in the hallway where nothing important is kept. That corner table where there's a vase that's had the same dried or artificial flowers for months. How many times a week does anyone touch that furniture? How many times does anyone sit there, place something on it, or even look at it? The answer is almost always the same: never. And yet, there you are, rag in hand, giving it a weekly cleaning, as if it were the living room furniture or the dining table where everyone eats daily. As if the orderliness of your house depended on it. But it doesn't depend on that. In fact, no one, absolutely no one, pays attention to those pieces of furniture. Not your guests, not your family, not even you, unless you decide to clean them. And I get it, because we were all taught the idea that if it's in the house, it has to be spotless. But you know what? Not everything in your home deserves your time every week. Some things only need a monthly wipe down. And those pieces of furniture no one uses, that aren't touched, that aren't opened, those are one of those cases. They collect dust, yes. But not to a catastrophic level in just 7 days. They're not going to infect the house, they're not going to stain the walls, they're not going to cause allergies. That dust just stays there, quietly, without bothering anyone. And if you decide to clean it once a month, that's perfect. Seriously. No one is going to walk into your house and point a finger at you because that piece of furniture in the corner has a microscopic layer of dust. Because no one is going to look. And the big problem is this: they've made you believe that even the furniture no one uses has to be ready for an imaginary inspection that never happens. That if you leave that sideboard uncleaned for a week, the entire order of the house collapses. And it's not like that. Daily or weekly cleaning should focus on the areas that actually get used: the kitchen, the dining room, the bathrooms, the bedrooms where people sleep. Everything else can wait, and by a lot. So I invite you to let go of that obligation. Leave that furniture alone. Run a quick feather duster over it if you want now and then, but the deep cleaning, the one where you wipe with a damp cloth, take off the decorations, dust, and put everything back, do that once a month. And when you do it, take a few minutes without rushing. What you used to do every week heavily and pointlessly now becomes a quick, stress-free task. And the best part is nothing's going to fall apart because of it. When you start realizing these things, how unnecessary certain tasks are, you free yourself. Because now you no longer clean out of blind obligation, but with common sense. And believe me, your house will still be clean, and you'll be so much calmer. Sixth, the appliances on the outside. This one is one of the most absurd things in the cleaning routine so many of us have engraved in our heads. Let's be clear, the microwave, blender, toaster, mixer, coffee maker, those appliances that sit there in the kitchen taking up space, and you feel like they have to be spotless all the time, gleaming, without a mark, without a fingerprint, as if your kitchen were a TV set. And you know what? It's not necessary. Unless they're visibly dirty, meaning sauce spilled on them, stuck on food bits, or a clear grease stain, there's no logical reason to be cleaning them every day, not even every week. They only need a good, thorough wipe down once a month. Because, let's be honest, for what? For whom? Who walks into your kitchen and starts inspecting whether the toaster has dust on it or if the microwave has a tiny mark on the lid? No one. Not even you when you're rushing around the house. And the worst thing is, many times they're not even dirty. But out of habit, out of that idea that it has to be done just because, you wipe them down and waste minutes of your day when it wasn't even necessary. And not only is it a waste of time, it's also unnecessary wear and tear. Because appliances, with so much daily cleaning and so many chemical products, end up losing color, getting scratched, buttons loosen, and their surface dulls. What you supposedly do to keep them nice, actually ends up deteriorating them faster. So the reasonable, sensible thing is this: if it gets visibly dirty, clean it. If not, leave it alone. No need to wipe it down every day or be stressing over every little fingerprint. And once a month, give them a complete clean. Wipe them with a damp cloth and a bit of detergent or mild degreaser, dry them well, and done. That simple. The big lie they've sold us is that a clean kitchen is one without a single mark, not a single fingerprint on an appliance. But the truth is, a clean kitchen is one that's tidy, with no visible food scraps, with clear surfaces, and without unpleasant smells. The appliances don't have to shine like new all the time. They just need to work well and be reasonably clean. Nothing more. So don't enslave yourself anymore. Don't waste valuable minutes of your day cleaning what doesn't need to be cleaned. Use that time for yourself. Because your well-being is worth far more than a gleaming blender. 7th, the air vents. And here I want you to be honest with yourself. How many times in your life have you gone to someone's house and started looking at the air vents? How many times have you walked into a kitchen, a bathroom, or a hallway and stopped to see if that vent had dust? I bet never. And the same thing happens in your house. No one looks at them. No one notices. No one walks up to see if there's a layer of dust there. No one. And yet there you are, week after week, climbing onto a chair or stretching your arm out with the broom, struggling to wipe them down or vacuum something that, honestly, could wait without any problem. Why? Because yes, they do gather dust, but that dust just stays there, stuck. It doesn't fly all over the house or dramatically affect the air quality in a week. In fact, in most homes, a whole month passes and the vent looks exactly the same, without anyone noticing. And of course, since it's up there, since it's part of the house, you feel like you should clean it often, because if you don't, the house is dirty. But let me repeat, no. A monthly cleaning is more than enough. Just vacuum them if you have one, or wipe them down with a damp cloth if you prefer, and that's it. You don't have to disassemble them, you don't have to wash them in the laundry sink, you don't have to scrub every slat with a cotton swab. You see that stuff in extreme cleaning videos, not in normal homes where people live and have other priorities. Also, the dust those vents collect isn't serious. It's not the dust that affects your household environment, nor what your kids breathe, nor what gets into your food. It's dust that stays stuck there, static, because the air currents trap it. And I assure you that waiting 30 days to clean it isn't going to trigger a health emergency in your home. And the best part is, when you decide to stop obsessing over that, you gain time and peace of mind. Because those little tasks, the ones that seem like they don't take any time, pile up and end up exhausting you. They steal minutes of rest, force you to stop what you're doing, and keep you in a constant state of, I still have this to do. And that, in the long run, wears you down. So no more. Once a month. Vacuum, damp cloth, and done. And the rest of the time, don't even look at them. Don't go searching for dust where no one can see it. Because your house is meant to be lived in, not to subject yourself to a list of chores that no one appreciates, no one demands, and that only weigh you down. 8th, small rugs. And here, my friend, I want you to pause for a second and think about how many times you found yourself on your knees shaking out, vacuuming, or washing those little rugs you have at the entrance, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the hallway. As if they were museum pieces, as if the harmony of your home depended on their state. And I get it, because we've all been made to believe that cleanliness shows in the details, that if there's a dirty little rug, the whole house is dirty. But I'll tell you the truth, straight up, you don't need to be on top of them all the time. Unless there's a spill, someone drops a coffee, your pet makes a mess, or someone walks in with muddy shoes, there's no reason for you to be cleaning them every week. And don't even get me started on those rugs that are in corners no one walks through, or that only serve a decorative purpose. Honestly, those could go more than a month without anything happening to them. Because let's be clear, the dust that lands on a small rug isn't any different from the dust that falls on the floor. But here's the trick: because you can't see how much dust is really there, your mind starts imagining it. You start thinking it must be dirty, that there are probably crumbs, who knows what might have built up, and so you end up shaking it out or vacuuming it just in case. Just because of the simple idea of better safe than sorry. And it's that better safe than sorry that keeps you tired, busy with things that don't even matter. Because the truth is, no one, not even you, notices the difference between a small rug that's shaken out once a week and one that's shaken out once a month, unless it actually has a stain or something on it. In fact, cleaning them so often wears the rug out more than the supposed dirt you're removing. The fibers loosen, the colors fade, and they end up looking old way before their time. And all because you haven't been able to let go of that unnecessary habit. The sensible thing is this: once a month, give it a good vacuum or shake it out thoroughly outside. If you have time and feel like it, wipe down a corner with a damp cloth. And that's it. In 5 minutes it'll look good as new. And for the rest of the month, leave it alone. Don't go looking for microscopic crumbs, don't check it every time you walk by. And if there's a visible stain or an accident, of course, clean it immediately, like anything else. But that's the exception, not the rule. You can't live as if every day a disaster is going to happen on every rug in your house. Because that mentality steals your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. And I'll tell you something no one says: a small rug with a little dust doesn't turn your house into chaos. It doesn't ruin your home, it doesn't put your family at risk, it doesn't cause illness. The obsession with extreme cleanliness is what truly exhausts you, stresses you out, and takes away your joy. So turn down the importance level of those little rugs. Don't let them dictate your routine. Don't let them decide whether or not you get to rest. Let them live, as we say at home. Let them be rugs, do their job, and wait for their turn to be cleaned when they actually need it. Because your house is meant to be enjoyed, not for those little rugs to set the pace of your day. Let go of that burden, my friend. Once a month, and that's it. No one's going to notice the difference, but you sure will feel the relief. 9th, the walls. Here's a huge myth we've got ingrained in us that makes us waste time and energy for no reason. Yes, of course, walls get dirty, especially in homes with little kids, pets, or a lot of foot traffic. Walls are those big white or colored surfaces that seem to exist just to prove the house is dirty if they have a smudge or a fingerprint. But the truth is, you don't need to be cleaning them every week or even on a strict regular basis. Do you know why? Because walls, in general, don't get dirty as quickly or as noticeably as we think. Yes, they gather dust in the corners, might have hand or finger marks in certain spots, or an occasional stain here and there. But that doesn't mean every inch of the wall needs to be scrubbed every week. Once a month is more than enough. At that time, with a damp cloth, no need for harsh chemicals or scrubbing like your life depends on it. Do a quick check through the areas where the dirt actually shows. Around light switches, near door handles, in the corners where dust builds up, or in the spots where the kids usually lean. And here's something important you need to understand. Cleaning walls every day or every week isn't just a waste of time, it can actually damage the paint or finish. Constant use of damp cloths and strong cleaning products can end up removing paint or wearing down the surface, meaning you'll have to repaint sooner than you expected. Also, the perception of cleanliness in a house isn't based on having perfectly spotless walls. No one walks into your home and says, "Wow, such impeccable walls," nor stops to inspect them unless they're looking for something to criticize. The cleanliness that matters is in the floors, on the furniture, and on the surfaces that get used often. So do yourself a favor and leave the walls alone most of the time. When you see a mark that's actually visible, or a smudge that won't go away with a dry cloth, sure, take care of it. But don't turn wall cleaning into a routine task that steals valuable minutes from you every week. What you get from that obsession is exhaustion, frustration, and an endless to-do list that never ends. But if you give yourself permission to clean walls only once a month, you'll free yourself of that burden and realize your house still looks clean and tidy. Because remember, a clean house is one that feels comfortable and pleasant, not one that looks like an art gallery on every wall. So leave them alone, wipe them down once a month, focus on what truly matters, and enjoy more time for yourself. Because there's nothing more valuable than your peace of mind and your well-being at home. And 10th, the inside of the kitchen and bathroom cabinets. Here, I want you to stop and think, do you really believe it's necessary to be cleaning those areas every week? Because it's something many of us do almost out of habit, almost out of fear that someone might notice something or that the cabinets will fill up with dirt. But the reality is very different. Cabinets, especially in the kitchen and bathroom, are designed to store things, to protect them from dust and external dirt. Most of them have doors, closed shelves, or drawers that prevent dust from building up quickly. They aren't exposed like tables, floors, or countertops where food spills or dust falls all the time. So if there aren't any visible spills, no food leftovers, no products that have fallen over and left stains, there's no need to be opening and cleaning those cabinets every week. That only adds mental and physical strain to you without contributing anything to the overall cleanliness of your home. What is effective and sufficient is to dedicate one day a month to do a deep clean inside them. Take absolutely everything out, yes, everything. Take the chance to check expiration dates, throw away anything expired or in bad shape, and wipe down all the internal surfaces with a damp cloth. There's no need for harsh products. A little warm water and mild soap is enough to remove dust and any invisible residue. When you finish, calmly put everything back in order, arranging the products, food, or utensils in a way that makes it easy for you to find what you need without creating clutter. This not only saves you time but also helps keep better control over what you have, avoiding buying unnecessary things or leaving expired products behind. This monthly ritual not only keeps the cabinets clean but also reduces daily stress because you know you don't have to constantly open those spaces and find them dirty or messy. Plus, it's a perfect time to do a general check of your things and optimize your space. And believe me, doing a weekly or bi-weekly clean inside those cabinets will only exhaust you and make you see cleaning as an unbearable burden. So leave those cabinets alone most of the time. Trust that a monthly check is enough to keep everything tidy and free of built-up dirt. In the end, what matters is that your home is a space to enjoy, not to be trapped inside an endless list of impossible chores. So breathe, relax, and schedule that deep clean once a month. That's all you need. So now you know. Stop punishing yourself by cleaning everyday things that don't need it. Because that idea that a perfect house is a sign of a good homemaker is a trap that only steals your energy, your time, and your health. You don't have to be chasing after every speck of dust every day, after every nearly invisible stain, after every corner that barely anyone sees. Your house doesn't have to shine like a display window to be worthy, to be a place where it feels good to be, where calm is breathed and family moments are enjoyed. You deserve time for yourself. To rest without that little voice telling you, did you clean this or that yet? To enjoy without feeling guilty for letting a day, 2, or even a week go by without scrubbing the baseboards or cleaning that lamp that doesn't even look dirty. You deserve space to be a woman, a mother, a friend, a professional, a dreamer, and not just a cleaning and tidying machine without a break. And if anyone dares to criticize you for not having gleaming baseboards or for not scrubbing every corner every week, hand them a duster and let them do it themselves. Because that person has no idea what it takes to keep a home running. They don't understand that behind every task there's a life, a family, emotions, exhaustion. Don't let other people's opinions steal your peace or your joy. The most important thing is that you're well, that you live in your home with peace and without absurd pressures. That you can look around and say, this is clean, this is fine, and I am happy. Because at the end of the day, cleaning is not a punishment or an unbearable obligation. It's just one more part of life that should serve your well-being, not the other way around. If you liked this video, if you feel like it's helped you let go of some of that weight you've been carrying, share it with another woman who needs to hear this too. Let her know she's not alone, that she doesn't have to be perfect to be worthy, that she can clean smartly, to live better. Because yes, cleaning is important, but your peace of mind, your time, your energy, and your happiness matter so much more. Never forget that. Take care of yourself, love yourself, and remember that your home is your refuge, not a prison of endless chores.